Why is it every time somebody mentions chemtrails, they're labeled a conspiracy theorist? Even though history shows that the US government and military have both experimented with weather modifications, dating back to the Vietnam War under the codename Operation Popeye, where the military extended or tried to extend the monsoon seasons. Other countries are openly doing it today, including China and the UAE. In China, the government announced it has been using cloud seeding to clear skies for events such as the 2008 Beijing Olympics, and has plans to expand operations across huge parts of the country. In the UAE, pilots fly into moisture-rich air in the desert, dropping particles to trigger rain. It is openly funded and widely reported. So the real question isn't if weather modification exists, it's how much are we being told about it. Let's start with what's not theory. Cloud seeding, using aircraft to release tiny particles such as silver iodide into clouds to make them produce rain or snow. This has been around since the 1940s. The idea was simple: give clouds a nucleus to form droplets around, and you can turn a dry sky wet. Here in the US, you don't hear much. There are civilian and state-level projects, mostly for agriculture and water management. You take Reno, Nevada, for example. 10% of all rainfall in Reno, Nevada is from cloud seeding. They spray it here in the Northern California. It drifts across the Sierra Nevada mountain range and drops into Reno. What you don't hear a lot of is federal transparency. So when people start to see strange cloud patterns, strange radar signals, and extreme weather that just doesn't add up, they start to wonder if something more is going on. Take Texas, for example. During one of the worst flood events in recent history, radar picked up bizarre signatures, shapes, bursts, pulses that don't match normal storm behaviors. Some meteorologists blame birds. Others claim it was just interference. Then why did the anomalies line up with the most intense rainfall Texas has ever seen? Why did the patterns look engineered instead of organic? And nobody seems to give straightforward, legitimate answers. And that silence makes people suspicious. Then there's HAARP, a high-frequency active auroral research program. Officially, HAARP was built to study how radio waves interact with the ionosphere, the upper layer of Earth's atmosphere, the same layer that controls radio communications, satellites, GPS, and has indirect ties how energy moves through the atmosphere. HAARP blasts high-frequency energies straight into the night sky, heating small patches of the ionosphere. They call it research, but when you have an Air Force-funded facility shooting megawatts of radio frequencies into the upper atmosphere, again, people start to wonder, what else could it do? Could it shift jet streams? Could it change weather patterns? Could it amplify or weaken a storm? Officially, no. Unofficially, no one outside the program really knows, because the military operates in secrecy. And then you have people who start to fill in the blanks. Because if the technology exists, the stakes couldn't be higher. Weather is power, and whoever can control the rain, a drought, or the temperature holds the lever to the entire planet. So before we dismiss people as conspiracy theorists, maybe we should take a closer look. If this was just about trails in the sky, the conversation would end there. But it doesn't, because the weather has been acting strange lately. And every time someone points out an anomaly, the answer is always the same. It's just nature, nothing to see, move along. But nature doesn't always explain what we have been seeing lately. Hurricane Melissa, for example, had one of the driest eyes ever recorded. That's not normal in tropical storm systems. Yet the winds were explosive, reaching over 250 miles per hour. That's like an EF5 tornado, or aircraft flight speeds, Or what about the hurricane that hit the Carolinas, dropping intense amounts of rain in a short period of time, far above the historical averages? Or Jamaica getting ripped apart by winds that strengthened unnaturally fast, like a switch was flipped. Scientists call it rapid intensification. But how many times can storms intensify faster than models can predict before we start to ask what has changed in our atmospheres? During the Texas deep freeze, there was a moment when it was warmer in the North Pole than in parts of Texas. Now think about that. The Arctic, one of the coldest regions on the planet, was warmer than a state in the US that's supposed to be semi-tropical. Weather patterns flipping upside down like that just don't happen out of nowhere. Pressure systems and atmospheric energy, they require massive shifts in the jet streams. So when you add it all up, the radar anomalies, the historic storms, the atmospheric distortion, the temperatures flipping like magnets reversing polarity, it stops feeling like random chance. At some point you have to ask, is it just nature or someone experimenting with the climate? And if they are, why won't they tell anyone? If you guys want to learn more, go to Tucker Carlson's page. He just had a guy on there that has over 30 years experience with chemtrails and weather modifications. But that's what I have for you today. If you haven't already, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. It'd be much appreciated. I'll catch you all in the next one. Love you. Peace.